doctor of physical therapy by day and baker by night. When I tell you that Kat Lieu should have a cape, trust me, you really should know that this young lady should have a cape, because she is amazing when it comes to sharing the things that she loves to bake, but also sharing, pushing, and fostering community. So today we get to sit down with Kat Lieu, and I am so excited for you to hear all about what matters most to her, as well as all the amazing, delicious recipes and things that she shared, and some awesome things that are coming up in the future. So Kat, welcome. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to have you.
Amanda, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So for those who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about Subtle.Asian Baking and how it all started.
So my name is Kat Lieu. I'm the founder of Subtle.Asian Baking. It is a COVID baby. It started in May 2020. Right when I came back from a trip from Japan, it was February 2020. And back then, COVID was just happening in Asia. Then when I came back to America in the Renton, Washington area, COVID started happening in Everett in Washington. So we thought we escaped it from Japan and we came back, it's full blown here. And then it's been, 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, I was missing all those delicious foods that I had back then, the milk breads, the mochi, the matcha lattes, the matcha cheesecakes, the butter sand cookies. And I thought, I want to bake this way so that I could eat all these amazing goodies. In Renton, Washington, you have to drive everywhere. And I'm not a fan of driving, right? I'm from New York City for over 30 years. Now I'm in the suburbs of Seattle. I have to drive everywhere. It makes me so anxious, especially during COVID time. You don't want to go out anymore. Everyone's telling you to isolate at home, quarantine at home. So I was getting sick of baking banana bread from all the ripe bananas that I had. Everyone was baking banana bread. And then I was trying to do macarons, right? But I always fail at French macarons. So I'm very good at Swiss macarons now.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to make egg tarts, milk bread, all the delicious goodies that you could find in Asian bakeries and Chinese bakeries and across Asia. And I looked online, there's only websites, there's a lot of scattered websites, but I didn't find a collective space, like a network where everyone is interested in baking the Asian way. Now it's inclusive. It's also diverse. It's not just for Asian bakers, right? Mm-hmm. So Amanda, if you identify a need, then you say, okay, let's just make it if it's not there. That's the right kind of person I am. I built a lymphedema clinic, the first one affiliated with a hospital back in Brooklyn, many, many years ago when I was a beginner physical therapist. So I like to build things. I like to grow things. I didn't expect, growing this Facebook group. It's a private group, I sent it out to my friends, 100 of them. I said, hey, you're interested in Asian baked goodies, come on the group, learn how to bake, teach us how to bake. It just blew up from there. From May all the way till December, it just kept growing exponentially. We had almost 70,000 members by December 2020. Then Eater featured us on an article, and then we, kept growing from there, from Facebook group to our Instagram, which has 120,000 members now, to our new TikTok that's becoming viral. Just everyone is just so interested in using matcha, mochi, and pandan, and black sesame, and ube to, learn to bake the Asian way. So I'm so excited to talk about that today.
Yes. And I mean, blow up it did. Talk about building things. You now have the largest network of Facebook bakers. I believe your group is over 140 something thousand on Facebook.
Yes.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So you started baking all these things. So where did the love for that come from? Growing up, did you have any bakers in your family? How did it all get started, and who introduced you to baking?
The only baker in my family was my grandma, who lives in Montreal, Canada. She's still there now. She grew up in Hanoi, Vietnam, and her family owned restaurants. And they were the landlords to these tenants who have restaurants that were French inspired, because, French was occupying Vietnam or something like that. I need to brush up on my history, right? So there she was able to do the banh mi, the baguettes, for the Vietnamese banh mi, and she learned how to make moon cakes. She learned how to make chiffon cakes, and she taught me when I was small, around 4 years old. But I always tell people I baked when I was 4, but that's not true. I was just cracking eggs for her. She was the baker. So whenever I spent some summers with her, I would learn how to do things. Unfortunately, she didn't pass down a lot of recipes. So and right now her memory's failing her. So there was only one recipe that she passed down to us, which was her amazing chiffon cake. And I'm so glad for that. But I remember her using like wooden molds to make handmade mooncakes. I remember her, cooking and baking everything from scratch. And I did wish that I lived longer with her. I only spent summers with her and like 6 months when I was about 4 to 5 years old. Coming back home to Brooklyn, my mom rarely baked. So we never made cupcakes. We never made cake pops or frosted cookies, none of that. I never baked a banana bread until I was in my 30s. My mom would bake the chiffon cake every now and then, but it was a very rare occasion, like maybe for Christmas when we bring it over to my uncle. So I, like I said, I didn't really start baking until my 30s, until I finally moved to Renton, Washington area. And I finally have a kitchen of my own where I don't have to stuff pots and pans. That's a recurring joke, a lot of Asian families, they have all their pots and pans inside their oven. So kid you not, when my mom sold her home in Coney Island, Brooklyn, after living there for over 2 decades, that oven was pristine. We did not have to clean it. That stove and that oven was pristine because, like she'd like to cover it with aluminum foil and everything was just so clean. I'm like, Mom, how did you do it? So, that's the story. I didn't start to bake until much, much later on.
Girl, that is hilarious. And that is not just Asian bakers and moms. That is Black people too. We all have pots. We all have pots underneath the stove, knowing that is not where they're supposed to go. That is hilarious. But I'm so happy that you still have those memories of her growing up. And I'm more happy that you were able to bring all the things that you wanted to test and try into the Facebook group in the community. So now just to take a step back, because now you have this Facebook group, and one of the main underlining things when it comes to groups is community. So there's things that you guys have in common and there's unity in there, and that's one of your bigger platforms. But now you're also bringing those things to Instagram, and you're just being you're just showing up, sharing everything Asian inspired that you love. But unfortunately, sometimes when there are ignorant people out there who don't understand cultural differences and who feel the need to talk and to share their opinion, even when it's not warranted, sometimes there can be a downside to that. But one of the things that I love about you is that, honey, you do not play. You are very Asian in showing up for your love for your culture and stuff like that. So how do you handle that and go about that when you're trying to be you're trying to be unique, walk in your passion, and then dumbass people say dumbass things?
Yeah. So Amanda, our space has always been very safe, especially on Facebook, because it's a private group and we're moderated by a moderator. So every post needs to be approved by our team of 5 moderators plus me. So it's never been the Facebook group that's been a problem. It's always been now like the Instagram and then the TikTok. I've been trying to grow TikTok for a while. I was shadow banned on Subtle.Asian Baking. So, which means that my content never went on to the FYP, the For You page.
Yeah.
But suddenly around January, so it was early this year, suddenly one of the videos just blew up. So now it has 5.5 million views. And then a few other ones have a few million views as well. So we went from like 2,000 followers on TikTok. It was very hard to grow, to now like 62,000 followers from in the span of 3 months. With the viral and all the love and the support that comes, the hate also comes. And it's very hard to moderate these, right? So either you limit your comments on Instagram or you don't accept any comments, because now we get thousands of comments and I cannot sift through all of them. I cannot, as one person who manages both the TikTok page and the Instagram page. It's toxic if you look into like what's going on right now, and it's every single day. So back then when a few of them were flowing in and they were attacking me, not my work, right? So mostly me. So I would have a lot of videos on bread, milk bread, or colorful cheesecakes, or colorful, cookies. And it's just matcha, it's just ube, my colorful milk bread. They all went viral, right? But I also wanted to promote my book. And on TikTok, there's there's a word count limit.
Yeah.
So you can't write a lot on your comments. So, I was short and succinct and to the point. It's like, hey, I wrote a cookbook. If you want to support a woman of color author, my thinking was just that a lot of Asian cookbooks in the past were not written by Asians.
Yeah.
So like you said, I'm just very proud of that fact. Here's a woman, here's a female author who has very low representation. It took me 13 years to write a cookbook, right, to get here. From people telling me that Asian culture doesn't sell to now all of a sudden Asian culture is profitable, right? So, I just wanted to be able to promote myself. I didn't have my face on the TikTok, right? It's just bread. And then people came and said, let your food do the talking. You shouldn't use your race to promote yourself. You should not say that you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or Asian. So I thought, but this is an Asian baking group and this is an Asian baking cookbook. Yeah. Why are you so offended that I'm an Asian female? I didn't get that. I was pretty depressed, not to lie. It's I felt it. The cyberbullying, the racist comments, the trolling. It got to the point where, I could either just ignore it all or I could reclaim my narrative.
Yeah.
Right, Amanda?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could reclaim it. I could use this content and I could call out these trolls and these bullies. That's what Fly by Jing is doing. They're not quiet about people who are talking about their sauces and then, making fun of their food, right? So I just wanted to reclaim that narrative. I want to be proud to be very Asian. I want to be proud to be subtly Asian. And also, like right now, very funny thing, people are calling us a cheesecake cult because I've been, showing a lot of cheesecakes and it's hilarious. So I'm like, okay. So today I changed my Instagram handle, not Subtle.Asian Baking, but like you have a name on Instagram. So I changed it to Cheesecake Cult. And so if you want to be a part of my cult, you're welcome to. All we talk about is cheesecakes and milk bread and desserts, right? So I think a lot of it is just to empower yourself, have that voice, and not be silent about it, because a lot of people are suffering in silence. People are committing suicide due to cyberbullying, and this cannot go on. A lot of people said, you're so negative, Kat. Just show your like cheesecakes and bread and just show that. You can't come and take all of my free recipes, right? And take all of this happy content and not support someone who's being bullied over and over for months, So if people are not going to come and show up for me, and which they have, there's been a lot of support. But I feel that the biggest proponent and the biggest supporter has to be yourself first.
Absolutely. I love that. And you address that so nicely, and I'm just so happy that you do decide to show up and to share not just the highs but also the lows. I mean, you will screenshot something someone says and you'll make a video and you'll turn that into content, but then that content will turn around and it will educate the community of people who follow you. And yes, like you stated, you do have some of that support, and not only are people supporting the page, but when we talk about support, you yourself, you support a lot of different organizations. Can you tell us about some of the fundraising that you support with the Very Asian campaign and some of the other campaigns you've been involved in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. So it started in 2020. We wanted to use our platform to raise some money. So my dad had passed away from Lewy body's dementia, which was disguised as Parkinson's. So, and then I thought a lot of Asian older adults don't take care of their mental health and they don't know much about dementia. So we partnered with one of our moderators, his name is Owen, with the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto and Ontario. And then we were able to raise just purely from fundraising $5,000 in Canadian money to give to the organization. And it was great. It gave us such good feeling. Like we finally came together as a community and did something and gave back. So we're not a profitable group right now, right? I don't sell any products. So, and then we don't do like a lot of partnerships, and even on my website, modernasianbaking.com, we don't do ads, right? So we are not pulling in money right now, but we do want to give back to the community through fundraising. So the second fundraiser we did was partnered with Welcome to Chinatown. So that was last year, 2021. And then we were able to raise $10,000 to donate 1,000 hot meals to older adults in New York City. And, you know, they're culturally appropriate meals that are bought from the local small businesses in Chinatown that were suffering. So that was one piece of it. And then we also raised an additional $5,000, and that was given to Double Crispy, a local bakery in New York City that sells egg tarts and potards. And they were able to use those funds to make mooncake boxes to help much needed sales during Mid-Autumn Festival of last year. So that was amazing. And that was all over the news. And this year we're doing the Very Asian fundraiser / Very Asian bake sale. You can donate directly, or you could host your own bake sales and then donate proceeds. So there's a bunch of bake sales happening. Now, our money is not flowing into the donations very quickly because the bake sales take time, right? So there's a bunch happening this weekend, March 19th to March 20th. There's a bunch happening in April. People are doing birthday month charity fundraising bake sales. So all of those funds right now, we're up to $5,200. They're going to be split half and half to Michelle Lee's Very Asian Foundation, and also half to Heart of Dinner, which is also a New York City grassroots organization that will provide hot meals again to like older adults in New York City.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Too often we always bake and we never really think to actually tie a mission in or a cause in to the things that actually matter to us most. So I love hearing about those organizations. And there's one more. I know I was over on TikTok, and you're currently doing something right now with supporting Save the Children, correct?
Yeah, we're actually doing a whole bunch. We're supporting all the bakers who are part of Subtle.Asian Baking and who are also raising funds for, you know, the people of Ukraine. It's been so heartbreaking, you know. Sometimes we even feel guilty about, you know, helping to stop Asian hate, because there's this dire need to help people in Ukraine with this war that's going on, right? So we're all for helping, you know, amplifying the voices of anyone who uses the hashtag bakers for Ukraine, or cook for Ukraine, or bake for Ukraine. You know, we've already raised $1,000 on our own as we are raising money for Stop Asian Hate. So we encourage people to have a purpose. You know, as bakers, we have so much love. That's why we bake. We make food for other people, right? We're not making food for ourselves. We're feeding people and filling them with joy, right? And our hearts are so full of giving. We just want to keep giving back. So many bakers of Subtle.Asian Baking are also baking for, you know, helping Ukraine. So we're doing the World Central Kitchen, you know, Save the Children, UNICEF. Like, I've donated to everything that people have shared with me. I've donated my personal money to, and I'm going to keep donating. I'm also even donating all March of this year, 2022, all author proceeds, so net proceeds from pre-orders of my book, Modern Asian Baking at Home. I am donating that all to charity.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So like I told you guys, this young lady definitely needs a cape, because she does so much and she's so amazing. And you went right into the next question. In the midst of doing all this fundraising and all this education that you do on your social platforms, you have a book coming out.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So tell us what made you decide to want to write this book, and what is it all about?
Yeah, Amanda. So let's go back to December 2020 when our Eater article came out. And Eater opens doors for anyone in the food business. So thank you. Thank you, Eater.
Absolutely.
So I got an email from an editor, and it was very, very creepy. I'm sorry, Jonathan, you're creepy. I love him to death. Okay, I love Jonathan. And the email didn't have my name on it. It just says, "Hey, are you guys working on a book?" You know, and I'm like, what? Who is this person? Let me Google him. Oh, it's legit. It's a acquisition editor from Portal Books, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, is this a sign? Because I've always wanted to write books. I've written books in the past, self-published them, you know, and then I thought, hey, maybe this is a great time to write a cookbook, because now we have this amazing group with all these recipes that I can be inspired by. And I'm a writer. Yeah. I'm a hella good writer. So I'm ready to write, right? So I worked with Jonathan. It took almost a year to get this completed. So now the book is in print, right? But it won't come out until June of this year. So summer of this year. And it was a lot of work, Amanda.
Wow.
Writing a cookbook, I never knew it would be so much work because I was still working as a physical therapist part-time. So I was doing remote physical therapy for children. And then after that, I would get very tired because you're smiling all day with kids and you're
Yeah.
bouncing up and down trying to make them move. And this is through Zoom. Right.
Wow.
So I'm like burning out in healthcare. And then I got so much passion and so much like a second wind of energy at nighttime. So I would write in ungodly hours. So after Philip, my son, would sleep, I'd start writing. So I'd be writing from like 9 to 2 a.m. just to get this stuff done. You know, people ask me, it's like, who are these recipes by? Did you just copy and paste them from your Facebook group? No. No, they were all retested, rewritten, you know, written in my words. You have to write the head note, you have to write the story behind it. It was a lot of work, right? After it was done, it felt so good. But then you don't realize as an author, you then become a marketer.
Yeah.
And then all it is now is just marketing this book. So that's another story.
Girl, it is, because I think that's with business period, you know, especially us as bakers, we're always so passionate to make the thing. And it's like, okay, great. Now you've made the thing, but now it's time to sell, to promote, to advertise, to market. And that's where all the real work comes in. However, you are doing a fabulous job because so many people from Buzzsprout to King Arthur Baking, and I actually want to touch on that with all the recipes that are in your book. I know King Arthur Baking had actually did a feature on air fried cheesecake. Tell us about this. Yes. Is this possible?
Absolutely. So I'm not sure about the Japanese cheesecake yet because you do need a bain-marie. So you need water to steam the Japanese cheesecake. I'm sure other people have done it before, but you could definitely use your air fryer to make a Basque cheesecake and it comes out beautiful. It comes out absolutely beautiful. The only trick is that every air fryer is a little different, right? Yeah. And an air fryer is just a tiny convection oven. So if you can bake something in an oven, of course you can bake it in the air fryer. You can't make like steamed rice in an air fryer. That's a little harder because now you have to boil that water and then make the rice and all of that. But you can make cookies, you can make your Basque cheesecakes, you can make like so many things in the air fryer. And that's why it's such a hip, hot topic now. Like when I was talking to my publisher, he was saying air fryer, air fryer, air fryer, air fryer, garlic crisp, air fryer. I'm like, chill, I'm not writing an air fryer book, okay?
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Yes. So I'm definitely going to put a link to the show notes and everywhere to that article, as well as to your website. And tell us all how we can pre-copy your, grab a pre-copy of your book. Although even long after this aired, we just will all get the hard copy. But yeah, how can we get it?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. So you know, I'm very happy to be here because it took me so many years to be able to talk about myself and promote myself. You know, it's just so hard sometimes, you know, like as women of color, we always feel invisible and underrepresented. And I'm so happy that, you know, you're here to lift me and empower me and help me. So I'm going to try not to cry.
Please don't make me cry. Yeah.
I'm going to try, you know, we need the sisterhood. We need this. We need this so much. I was so glad that you reached out. You could order at modernasianbaking.com/pre-order. It's available worldwide. You can find it on Amazon, your local bookstore. If your local bookstore doesn't have it, tell them, hey, there's this book called Modern Asian Baking at Home by Lieu. You know, maybe you guys should order it.
Absolutely. And for those who pre-order, we get some bonuses because I saw that, some pretty cool bonuses. Yeah, awesome. So I'm super excited. Do you want to tell us about one of the bonuses?
Yeah, actually, I have to send it to you. I have to send you the bonuses. So I worked with the publisher. We made a beautiful ebook with 5 professionally shot like recipes, and it was made by a food stylist and the photographer, and it has all the stories, and it has a list of tools and equipment that you need. So things that didn't make it into the book. And then I also built a website called modernasianbaking.com/bonus, where you could log in. If you pre-order, I'll give you the website password. And then there's a lot of other extra recipes that I keep thinking up, and I put it in as a PDF so you could download it. So it's like a fun little community. I'm still thinking of more things to do, like maybe Zoom classes, one-on-one with like, you know, everyone who has pre-ordered, or a one-on-one would be tough. No, so maybe like a group community kind of class,
Yeah.
I like to overstretch myself sometimes. I think that's how I keep myself like full of energy. So you're always like, doing something, but at the same time, we still need to remember that we need to relax and take a deep breath. So I'm going to do that right now.
Absolutely. So true. But all of these bonuses sound like everything you've done in the past, which is give, give, and give. So
Yeah.
I know for sure that anyone who orders this book is going to be so blessed, because not only do you get the recipes and the culture, but like you said, you get all the amazing bonuses, and you get to support another woman who's so dedicated to supporting so many amazing causes. And so once the book launches, what are the future plans for you, Kat? Do you have any more books coming up, or?
So I'm talking to the publisher where we're chatting about, a second book. But of course, if you're a first-time author of a cookbook, you can't depend on this one cookbook to blow up, and then you can't eat from it, right? The royalties are not going to feed you. You're going to need to make the second cookbook, right? So as a first-time cookbook author, you're not going to get a huge advance. You have to be, like Kenji Lopez, right? Kenji Lopez, someone like that, or David Chang, to score a huge deal with their cookbooks, and then they'll have more deals and royalties. So for me, that's not the case, right? It's not a bestseller right now. Hopefully it will be.
Not yet, yeah.
Not yet, right? But it will open doors for the next cookbook. So I always manifested as a child that I would write 300 books. Maybe 3 to 5 cookbooks in the future, I would be very happy with. So now I don't think I could write 300 books anymore. It's a little too tough. And then I'm hoping we're going to do other big projects. I can't reveal them right now because we're still under contract negotiations. So once that happens, I will let you know. You'll be the first to know, Amanda. It's a huge project I'm so proud of. And just keep spreading the word, keep building the love for baking the Asian way, using Asian ingredients, Asian techniques like steaming, frying, and boiling, just keep building this, and then building the appreciation for the culture, for the flavors, so that we have less of the appropriation, less of the people yucking our yum, and then also bring more people together to have fun and do all these great things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You nailed it. And it was so important to me in doing this podcast. When I sat out and I said, okay, I want to do a podcast and I love to teach, but I said, I want to share. I want there to be a place where we can hear stories. And I was specific in sitting down and writing every single race, and I'm going to speak it into existence, every single race of a baker that I wanted to have on. And you were like my top pick. And my husband's like, you're going, he's like, you're going kind of big, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for the number one Asian baker who has the biggest community. So for you to just show up and represent today and to just share with us your culture, what you're working on, things you've been through, it has really, really, truly been an honor, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. I was so happy when you reached out. I was like, I've been having to reach out to people. People think that we're very big. We're still a micro influencer. We're not like, Chrissy Teigen. We're not like people with the big names, right? A lot of this stuff right now it's just self-promotion. A publicist is $21,000 in 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So I've been having to slide into people's DMs to ask for promote me, because people are not going to until you have a little name for yourself. And then everyone wants a piece of you.
Exactly.
But it takes a lot to get there. So, just having you reach out, like the very first person actually to reach out to say, hey, come on my podcast. I am so honored and so happy that you chose me. So I'm so happy to be here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you shared your story with us, and I definitely appreciate that. And I think we all need to do more of that, to take ownership of promoting ourselves unapologetically, because oftentimes we think, I don't want to sell myself, I don't want to pitch myself. But when you have something of value and you know that it can bless someone and it can help someone, that deserves to be shared. And the value you share with your community in Facebook, as well as on Instagram and all your platforms, not just of your recipes, but also of your activism, is amazing. So I truly thank you for that. So now we're going to play a game of lightning round. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So real quick, lightning round. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Green,
I have
yeah.
to think about it.
Money. Well, I like that. And what
yes, gold then. Gold.
Gold,
Sorry.
exactly. And what is the one, now this is a 2-1 for you. What is the one American dessert you can't live without?
It's not American. It's creme brulee. I love creme brulee.
Oh gosh. Yes. Okay. And what is the one Asian
That's
dessert?
French.
Absolutely.
Japanese cheesecake.
Ooh.
I have to say.
Oh, that sounds so good. All right. Do you have a celebrity crush?
I do. It's Takeshi Kaneshiro. I tell everyone that I would leave my husband for a 25-year-old Takeshi Kaneshiro. So someone give me a time machine or some kind of, reversal ray. And then I will say goodbye to my husband and go to Takeshi Kaneshiro.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. Don't worry. My husband doesn't listen to any of these and doesn't watch any of these. I can say whatever I want. He loves me. I love him.
We're all women. We all have some type of crush. And what is your favorite book?
My favorite book right now, I have to say Pride and Prejudice. Awesome. That is the book that started everything for me because I'm a lifelong romantic. Then the movies, that is my number one book, I would have to say.
Awesome. That's a great choice. And what's the one kitchen tool that you can't live without?
Right now, just the spatula, because you can do anything with that spatula. So I think the spatula.
Yeah, I use it to hit my husband sometimes, but yeah, you can do anything.
Yes. Does your husband listen to this? Will he listen to this?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, good. No. Okay, I'll hit my husband with it too, in your honor.
Yeah, he's loud sometimes, and I'm like, hey, shh, I'm recording, so you got to find something to hit him with.
Why do men have to be so loud? They already have so much, right?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm glad he was quiet today because everything you share with us is truly amazing. And again, thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you on, and I look forward to reading all the pages in your upcoming book. And once again, what's the website? Where can we go?
Yeah, so please check out modernasianbaking.com for all of our recipes. And then if you want to pre-order my book, Modern Asian Baking at Home, modernasianbaking.com/pre-order. And of course, join us on our Facebook group, Subtle Asian Baking. You do have to search for it and you do have to ask for permission to join the group. And then also our TikTok and Instagram are Subtle.Asian.baking.
I love it, Kat. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, darling.
Oh, thank you. I have some tears now. I love you so much.
Oh,
you're
no.
So sweet.
You're so sweet.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.